Hello everyone, it's Chad with Willow Creek Bees, and I'm out here at the bee yard today. It's in the fall. We've got the goldenrod that is starting to bloom, and the bees are really flying. And if I wish you could smell this goldenrod. It just smells so delicious. And you can see, look, they're bringing in a lot of pollen. It's like they're fanning right now. The nascent off glands up in the air. They're starting to bring in some yellow pollen. And we're gonna pop in these real quick to see what's going on. Just gonna look in the top box. I'm not gonna look too deep. I do have Formic Pro on them right now to take care of my mites. We had a bad windstorm here the other day, and luckily my hives stayed stacked up. I drive a bus, and I guess one of our smaller buses, our Spectran buses, flipped over from the wind. So it was pretty windy, and so I'm thankful that my hive stayed standing. But we'll pop inside of these real quick and take a look and see what we got going on. All right, so let's take a look inside of this hive here. Kind of see how they're doing. Like I said, I've got Formic Pro on this right now, so I don't want to dig into it really too deep. We're a week into the treatment, but sorry, I squished a small hive beetle. There isn't too many small hive beetles in these things, but I do have some, so some I probably should work or think about doing something about. There's not a ton though. Not when you listen to like Greg Burns and them talk about small hive beetles. I might have a half a dozen that I see. Sorry, trying to do this one-handed. Look at popping this one up here. I think this one. I bought them super a lot, so it's kind of really hard to tell for sure exactly what's going on. But this super here is pretty empty. They're not really working this one very much, so I'm hoping to get that flow. I think is just hitting with the goldenrod. I don't know if you can see, feel the goldenrod back there, but that's just coming into bloom. I'm sure that's probably more of a false goldenrod, so it's going to be not quite as strong of a nectar flow. That frame, I'm letting the sun melt that wax onto that frame and recoat it. So this is kind of my row of hives I got going on here. The little ones, some of them I'm hitting with acylic acid. Like this is Formic Pro, Formic Pro, Formic Pro 821. Any of the nukes I'm hitting with acylic acid. This right here was a split from a super cedar cell. I made hive number 5 with it, so this one and hive 5. Let's see, 18, I'm not going to check that one yet. It doesn't really give me enough time. Up in that maple up there, I have a swarm that I got to put into a box here. I've got a box that's queenless. That little nuke right there is queenless right now. That nuke next to it that's the one I got designated for that swarm up there. And I gotta get out here early enough and shut that swarm trap off to counts aren't super high on these. I had a couple of them that were 7, which is quite huge using the Dawn. That's why I went through and did another round of Formic Pro on them. I do got some Apiguard too, but I don't want to use that yet. But hopefully this is the last mite treatment I'm going to need to do on these hives. It's the Formic Pro is the first time I've used it this year, and it's worked pretty good. This one right here, I had a mite count of 0 in this hive, and I love zeros. Let's say this is a strong hive. It's a good box of bees. Yeah. Again, I don't have my smoke, so I don't like getting stung. As the bee whisperer says, be the tree. Be the tree, or the bees are, whatever the guy's name is. So, I'm not about being the tree. Let's check this little nuke right here. Another good box of bees. So that's what we're doing. Again, sorry for the camera work. Doing it one-handed. Yeah, so that's what we're doing. We're getting ready to do some acylic acid treatment. The Formic Pros, if you ever do that, this is what they end up like. So I know it's weird. I pulled them out. I didn't know for sure exactly what to do with them when I was done with them, so I pulled them all out after their 2 weeks. Time was up. I'm gonna do that again. It seemed to work pretty good for me last time. That hive right there I had a mite count of 8 on that one. I think I dropped that down to 2. So I'm well within threshold of that, probably 0.75% infestation. But last year was a rough winter for me, and we're not repeating that. And I built it back up again, and it took a lot of work to get here. So we are going to continue to have these things thrive. I want to get the Formic Pro off them. I'll wait for this goldenrod to finish up, and then I'm going to start in with my syrup. And we'll pull a fall honey on this. So we'll pull the honey, the goldenrod honey off, and I'm going to replace that with sugar syrup. It's more of a cleaner carbohydrate for the bees to overwinter on. The goldenrod, it is known to crystallize really fast, and it makes the hard for the bees to overwinter on. It's that crystallized honey. And also it has a lot more minerals in it, which is not the best feed for bees in the winter. You need something that doesn't have a high ash content for them. Our winters are long here in Michigan, and it's hit or miss if we're going to get a cleansing flight or not. You just don't know. You'll get one eventually, but you can't count on it. So we've had years where it's been cold all year long, like not get above 20 near the whole winter. February is usually our worst month. If you hit the teens, you feel happy about that. And So that's a hard month for us, and as the bees are starting to brood up a little bit. So I'll feed them back some sugar syrup, and I'm going to do a lot of dry sugar. Kent Williams, I'm going to do his mountain camp method, which is a 25-pound bag of sugar you mix with a quart of apple cider vinegar and a tablespoon of citrus acid, or you could use cream of tartar, I do believe. But that starts the inverting process for the bees, so I don't have to do quite as much work to utilize that sugar. You just put it in there. It's got kind of a moist. It's going to do two things for me. It's going to help absorb moisture, and it's going to give them feed. And if you notice, if you ever feed dry sugar to a hive, that they go for the sugar first. They'll eat the sugar before they'll eat the honey. The honey is a reserve for them. It's like a storage food. I know it's what they naturally make, but their preferred food is nectar, not honey. So honey is it's like a frozen pizza to them. They'd much rather have a Domino's pizza than they would a frozen one, but they'll eat the frozen one. So the higher the mineral count, the more guts are gonna fill up. So if you give them a clean carbohydrate, then they're not going to fill up as fast. And also, I'm going to insulate my hives so they don't have to work quite as hard. Try to create a low stress environment for them for the winter time. And I'll do some videos on what I'm going to do here. I overwinter in a single deep. So how I'm going to do it this year is I'm going to take the single deep, and I'm going to have an empty medium box on top. And that medium box with no frames in it, I'll have that filled halfway up with sugar for them. I'll put a AP23 or winter patty on them. I don't know if I'm going to make my own or if I'm going to buy one from Dayton again this year. But I'll have a winter patty on them, and I'll put that sugar in there about halfway up, and then fill the rest of that up with styrofoam for insulation. I'm going to wrap the entire hive in insulation, and it should create a warm environment for them that they can at least keep as warm as they want it to. I know bees don't heat up the hive, but as a byproduct of their heat, the hive gets warm. It gets more of a stable environment for them. I've noticed that when I've used styrofoam and wrapped the hives, I get a lot less scat, bee poop on the front of the hives, which is a sign of stress. If they get stressed, they get diarrhea basically, and so for them to cluster up is more of a survival instinct for them. I don't think that's their preferred way. They are overusing their muscles. They're burning through more food. They're stressing out their bodies more. These bees have got to live, probably 150 days, roughly, before they're going to be replaced. 100, 150, 125, somewhere around there, and that's a long time for a bee that's a normal summer bee lives 35 days. So these winter bees have got to be fat and healthy. So as So that's how I'm going to get them ready for winter. And I'll keep you posted on that and how I do it so you can see. And we'll also go along the winter and keep reports, and we'll see how it does. But right now I'm working on keeping my mite loads down. I want them as close to zero, if not zero, as I can get it. And I'm not foolish enough to think that I don't have any mites in my hive, even if it reads zero, because I know I do. So if I get them as close as I can, that's even better, and that's what we're going to keep striving for. And it'll be good. It'll be good to make that happen. And yeah, so that's where I'm sitting at. As Cayman Reynolds says, we need great queens, dead mites, and good nutrition. So I've got the great queens aspect of it. I'll be going through here and doing a final assessment on that to make sure, and combining any of the ones that need to be combined in either one of my yards. I've got 3 of them right now. So we're working on the dead mites and the good nutrition. We will get them hooked up with that too. So I do plan on making splits and selling nukes next year along with queens. So this is just 1 yard. I should be able to make plenty of nukes this year. And I've got a goal number that I want to sell this year in my mind. And we will see how close we get to that number. Of quite optimistic on that. So we'll see. All right, I am rambling here. So, well, thanks for watching. If you like these videos, or if you enjoy the videos, let me know by subscribing or give me a thumbs up. Pretty new to this, so I'm going to try to make more videos as time goes on. So, all right, well, thanks for watching, and have a good day.